Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Day number 595, 9:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, October the 11th, 2023. Welcome to all you guys here, seeing all kind of new names, and that's wonderful. Desade, welcome to you, Jeffrey Burnett. Our moderator there from Forest Hill, California, JDO, our monitor from the land of Illinois. Speaking of Illinois, I went last night to my first NHL hockey game ever. I went to opening night of the Pittsburgh Penguins. A friend of mine took me, so I got my commemorative puck. And I want to say this. I should have filmed it, but I was so impressed with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Not about hockey. I know nothing about hockey. I'm a baseball player. But they were so patriotic and respectful for our nation. The national anthem was done amazingly well. The same guy sings it every game. He's been doing it for 33 years. The crowd responded completely. No negative chants, nothing. It was so refreshing. Additionally, on the breakdown in the periods, they honored our military. They would show pictures, and then they would have a live with them, like in the Pittsburgh Penguins store. And they were just giving them gear and thanking them for service. And every time the entire arena stood in appreciation. So it was refreshing, guys. I know we have a lot of mess in pro sports and trash out there, but it was refreshing. And I do not know anything about hockey, but that will make me a fan of Pittsburgh Penguins. So tonight, big update. Cinnamon, I see you there up in Canada. JJB down there in Australia. Yes, I'm going to give you that video back at you. Mark McLaren, welcome to you over there. Rick Berry, Pat Shove, Skeg, rocking in Australia. Luann Tucker, Nevada. I'll see you in a few days. Silvio Maraccia, good evening to you. Tim Ryder, what's up? Don Gentilini, thank you, sir, as always. Cutting edge reporting on Ukraine and Israel, international insights, propaganda flow. Yeah, I'm going to show you some of that propaganda tonight. In a way you do not expect it. Eric Wood, EC, North Carolina, welcome to you, brother. Bob Piccarilli, the legend from the Valley, welcome to you. Fody family checking in. Go Sharks. Paul Kiss, our resident Canadian Pennsylvanian. Warrior Jack Lee, welcome to you, my friend. Cheers from Curitiba, Brasilia. So thank you as always. All right, guys, really, really big night tonight. And we got Zelenskyy for you, speaking in English, no voiceover. It's his English, which is always nice to hear. And yes, 100%, I did what I said I was going to do. I contacted Ukraine. I've got the Ukrainian view and the legal rhetoric of the Budapest Memorandum. We're going to be completely clear on that. And then I also have the other question answered tonight from Ukraine. This is going to blow you away. The companies that are still working in Russia post sanctions of now day 595 in the war. So guys, that's where we're at. Thank you for sharing, caring, liking, telling others, subscribing. You do your job, your part, donating. I do mine. We're on the countdown. November, December. We're a couple of weeks away, couple of months away from being back in Ukraine, and plan to be there about 3 months. We'll be live streaming, updating daily from Ukraine. Now, Ricochet, I do see you here. I know you guys were a little bit not happy that I showed locations. Double S, any news on Israel? Yes, there will be news on Israel, what's happening there, and also how it connects to Ukraine. So, Ricochet, I appreciate your love and care. I really do. Miffed. Yeah, miffed. But brother, you following me to Walmart That guy cares about me. I pulled up in the Walmart in Pennsylvania today and I see Ricochet's Jeep. He loves me so much that he's following me around to make sure I don't mess up anymore. So thank you for that, buddy. I couldn't help but snap the picture. Oh, Ricochet. David Bernard, welcome to you. All right, guys, here we go. Ricochet, I'd only take a picture of the Jeep because I love you. Yes, that was a Semper Fi, and I couldn't help but share it. So here we go. Let's go right now, as we always do, starting at 9 o'clock, 4 a.m. in Ukraine. Quiet. There were, about 1 hour ago, air raid alarms for airplanes, jets, missiles, and Shaheeds, drones for Odessa, Mykolaiv, and Kivorograd. But they have now eased. There was nothing. It was just fakes, which happens. And then right now, we're all quiet. I want to start tonight with Sumy. Sumy is the city up on the north. If I go back here, you can see it up here in this region right here, up beside the Kursk region of Russia, right up on the border. We have friends that are stationed there, right on the border. And we support them as well as you do through us. So I can tell you Sumy was hit in a school. We have 3 killed, including a 13-year-old girl student and 2 teachers. This was terrorism. In fact, I'm going to give you guys some things on the terrorism tonight. This one's going to get you good. So, Sumy, 13-year-old girl killed. When the graphics were being created, we found out later 2 teachers were also killed, and a very, very sad situation there. I mean, right in the middle of the town, a school leveled. Nikopol, we have a gym leveled, not just a gym, but 28 homes. It was in a little residential area. We have 3 killed, 1 missing. In fact, Nikopol's right here. You can just see a little bit of what they have to do for the rescue. It was rescue and recovery at this point. This is what they do every day. And typically, this is when the double comes, but fortunately it didn't. So they're working. Just gives you an image there of what they're doing. Additionally, folks, Avdiivka, we have a problem. And Russia, right this minute, is pushing very, very aggressively on Avdiivka. I'm going to show you guys on the map, if you're here and you do not know where Avdiivka is, but Avdiivka will end up looking like Bakhmut, leveled, or as I see in the chat, to your Ukrainian buddies, they might revoke that access. What, that I gave my home away? It's okay, guys. I promise you. I promise. Avdiivka going to look like, not that one, going this one.
Ракета прилет.
The guy says a rocket just came in.
Русский мир.
This is the Russian world they're bringing to us.
Да, все горить.
Everything's destroyed.
Авдеевка.
This is Avdiivka. And this was today in Avdiivka. Mark McLaren, I do see that. That's correct. They are dropping incendiary rounds right now all throughout that region. In fact, I'll just go there on the map for us and do this and that. We start up in the north. Same. Kupiansk. Very, very tough. They're pushing here towards Drulebivka. They've gained a little bit more on their entryway into Torsk, and we really do not want to lose Torsk. There is a river that separates Torsk and Kirovsk, and these are not villages. I mean, they're villages, but they're towns. These can be used as reference points, because then what they want is Lehman, because it's very, very strategic. And I'll tell you why Lehman is strategic. It's on the top of a hill. In fact, if you look at this map right here, you see the green, that's all topographic. Up here, this is on a plateau, and Lehman overlooks Slavyansk, Kramatorsk, Druzhkivka, Konstantinivka. Of course, would give a backdrop back toward Bakhmut, but Lehman's very strategic. So we're bumping back here, and that's a problem. Another issue for us personally, you guys know the grannies that we take care of. We were bringing them food when nobody could get them aid. It was closed, and we were able to get aid into them. The cruise missiles were flying over our head. They're in this village right here, Regorodok. So, our little grannies are very close. This is just kilometers. And so we keep an eye on that very closely. Bakhmut's the same. Avdiivka, this is the city will be Bakhmut too, if not already. It's gone. But Russia advancing tonight in Bakhmut. The area that's positive for us and continues to stay positive is down below Zaporizhia. But it's pretty much holding the way it is. And then down to Kherson, you guys know. The river is the barrier, and Kherson is just shelled nonstop. Nonstop. We're talking 200 to 300 arrivals every day in Kherson. Every day. And I know, I don't, minimize what's happening in Israel and Gaza right now, but that's been going 4 days, 5 days. This has been going for 595 days. And, it's really shocking that the world, and believe me, I'm pro-Israel. That's easy. Okay. But the world's screaming at the atrocities that happened against the Israelites, the Israelis. And rightfully so, Israel defends itself, starts to take them out. But let me tell you what's going to happen. The media will begin to change their tune. And the destruction that is being unleashed on Gaza right now, and potentially Lebanon and Syria, and I'll show you guys that in a moment, the story will change, and we have to watch out for that. My problem is this has been happening in Ukraine for 595 days. And yes, the world rallies and supports, but it's just different, and that's sad. I can tell you that I see you guys, and I'm going to go there in a second, just at the end, and give you an update on that. It's a bit overkill, in my opinion, and that's fair. Everybody can have their opinion. No room in my mind for the double standard. Agreed. It's a challenge. Anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. So that's Avdiivka. Now, folks, they got them. You say, well, who did they get? They got Volodymyr and Dmitry, Vova and Dima. Well, you say, well, who's Vova and Dima? Their last name is Mammon. 23. Okay, so I'm going to take this moment right now to share with you guys truth. Do not believe for 1 minute that the only people that support the Kremlin are gray-haired or older folks who reminisce about the days of the Soviet Union. It's not true. There is a tremendous amount of young that support what Russia's doing. They are brainwashed that the Ukrainians are Nazis and fascists. This is two examples. This is Vova and Dima. And these are the two guys that gave away the coordinates for Groza. You say, well, Groza, what's Groza? Remind me. Groza is right here, outside between Kupiansk and Zmiv, outside of Shevlin-Flivska, and it's right here. Remember the cafe where they were having the funeral, just civilians there? Well, these two guys right here are policemen. They're brothers. You say, well, how are they cops and they got there? Because they're cops from this town. They're just pro-Russia. And they went to the cafe where the funeral was, gave the coordinates to the Russian forces, and they struck them and killed them. Guys, couple of things. Number one, they're young. So do not fall for the trap out there, like in media. Not Russian now, American, European, that says, oh, it's just the old people. Just the old people. It's not. Secondly, that was a policeman for Ukraine. You see, I can tell you this firsthand, and I wish I had Zhenya on here tonight to tell you the story. But if you remember from Monday night, I shared with you that Ukraine was increasing security. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. I shared with you that Lviv had reinstated all block posts, all security checks. They have marshals on all the trains now. It's extremely secure. Why? Because of guys just like this. And this story is happening over and over and over. It's an extreme challenge. But on the backside, the number dead now in Groza is 55. 2 more died from their injuries. Folks, that's terrorism. That's it. These cops gave coordinates, and you know they gave the information that, hey, cafe full of funeral mourners from one of the soldiers. They wiped them out. It's the reality that Ukraine faces every day. Now, I was going to tell you the firsthand story. The firsthand story is, I'll show you where it happened. Let's go here. I'll just show you. So, Zhenya and I were in Bakhmut. We came out of Bakhmut. We were working back through Konstantinivka. We came and we got on the road coming south, and then it was a little crazy. So we cut across these rural roads over to Pokrovsk. When we got to Pokrovsk, we hit the E50, and it took us to Pavlograd. We were going to stay in Pavlograd that night, but we decided, okay, we have the access. We can travel all night. We have all the documentation and papers, no problems. So I said, let's go to Dnipro. Let's go to Dnipro, and that way we can rest a little bit the next day. So we went to Dnipro. And folks, when we got to this intersection right here, right where the 105 comes in, right before you go into Pigorodny, we were stopped at a block post. And when the policeman who was running the block post came up to our window, even I noticed it was different because he was speaking perfect Russian. And that's okay, because many of the soldiers, many police, everything, they are from Eastern and Central Ukraine, and they speak Russian. So when he spoke it, though, it was like, okay, I understand that guy perfectly, because typically they're speaking Ukrainian at all block posts, all only. And this guy started giving us problems. Like, What's in your vehicle? Da-da-da. I'm pulling out military ID. I mean, to be quite honest, I outrank him, and I'm not even in the military. I just had the right paperwork. So we got out of the van, and I went to the back of the van. He came back there and says, open the van. I said, let me tell you something. I'm going to open the door only because I'm going to be respectful to you. But if I'm not in this van moving in 10 seconds, you're done. Your job's over. You're going to be removed. And he says, you don't have that power. I said, try me. He says, get in the van. We go down the road about 1 kilometer, and Zhenya goes, dude, that's a Russian. There's something wrong in my heart. I'm Ukrainian, but I have Russian family. That guy is a Russian. And I think he's working our block post. He whipped that van around, and we went back. Couldn't get him. So we marked that guy as questionable. And Zhenya goes, I'm telling you, he's Russian. I'm telling you. So these are the things that happen every day. And that's why stories like this are sad. I mean, we come to day 595 or 590, 588 when this happened, and you become a traitor like that against civilians. It's evil, guys. It's evil, and that's the truth of what's happening. You'll never see that on any news. Now, Germany announcing a 1 billion euro military aid package to Ukraine, and we're very thankful for that. However, it contains 1 Patriot air defense system and 2 Irises and 3 Gepard self-propelled guns. They're also going to supply some armored carrier, troop carriers, and ammunition. There's no timeline, though, given on the arrival of the Patriots and the Irises. And in November, it's possible that we could receive 10 Leopard 1 tanks, 15 armored vehicles, and 20 ambulances. So very thankful. There's no exact time, and it's good. I mean, it's 3 more systems. It's 1 Patriot, 2 Irises, and some Gepards, but 3 main systems there. We need 100, but hey, 3's better than 0. So we're thankful for that, especially with what's happening in Israel right now. Germany's really stepped up to the plate there. Belgium supplying F-16s. We're very thankful that Belgium is supplying F-16s. Yeah. In 2025, folks, we called it. I woke up this morning to a message from Mark McLaren. He messages me on Twitter quite often. He says, well, looks like you were right. I mean, the guys that Zhenya and I talk to, they really do know, guys. I promise you. Like, I can't even put them on here and interview them. I mean, they're up there. They know. So when we share things like, there's no way an F-16 will be there by December, we're very confident that who has told us that knows. Now we see this. Now, Denmark also supplying some F-16s, but at the earliest, late spring 2024. The Danes are looking more hopeful. Correct. Can't trust a word to the fighters or actually deliver it. Agreed. We'll talk about that in a moment. Yep. Good comment there. In 5 years, Germany will not be the center of Europe. Poland's on the rise. They will be. Warrior Jack Lee down there in Brazil. Great comment. What face do those leaders make when announcing something so far out? I honestly believe, guys, I'll do some comments right now, that it's just to keep the story going. We are supporting, we are helping, we're doing all of these things. We're not leaving Ukraine. We're going to supply more. But the reality is Ukraine is a very big nation. I know it's small compared to the United States or Russia or Brazil, geographically speaking, but there in Europe and Eastern Europe, Ukraine it's massive. And you guys are with us when we're driving all over the country and showing you video. It's a big country and there's a lot of battle and front lines there. It's difficult. Andrew Shove, that's a great comment. I don't care how much you hate a country or government. It's the height of evil to willfully target innocent civilians. I would throw on top of that, and I do have the actual video that I would never show. Never. I wouldn't post it anywhere, of the beheadings of the infants in Israel. I have it. I mean, what, really? It's just evil, guys. It's evil. So now, Lloyd Austin today informed Vladimir Zelenskyy at the Ramstein that Ukraine will not receive Army tactical missile systems. Ukraine will not receive ATACMS long-range missiles. Lloyd Austin stated that the Ramstein defense assistance will currently be limited to air defense equipment, artillery, and ammunition. Don Gentilini, we were talking about you, sir. We're talking about the propaganda, and I try to help the community get through the propaganda. So I actually took that thumbnail from Russian media. That's right. Well, it's in English. Exactly. And I just threw the text up there so you could see what's happening. But do you see the headline? That's not an American or a European headline. Is this the missile that could start World War III in Ukraine? That's Russia being ahead of the curve. All they're doing is they try to paint these pictures so that when nations are having to decide, okay, do we send these long-range missiles or not? They see this stuff. It's just like the congresswoman from Indiana shared. I played you the video on this stream. I was sitting right beside her. Russian propaganda's writing bills in our Congress. She goes, I'm confident of it. That's the power of it. So they do this narrative, and it's ahead of the story. So when it comes time, nations buckle down. Now, the other issue is we're close to having World War III. Close. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You never hear conspiracy theories on this program. I never teach conspiracy theories. I hate them. And I hate disinformation. But folks, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. We have talked that one accident, for example, at Zaporizhia nuclear power plant could be an action that would bring other nations to the war in Ukraine, NATO. Now we still have that possibility, of course. And we have the Russian threat increasing on the Baltic states, increasing on Moldova. And now we have a lit powder keg in Israel and the Middle East, with the nations coming, United States included, Iran included, Russia included. We're close. We're close. Zelenskyy made a very surprising statement today. And I have it here quoted. First of all, you see vote. You guys know the world fighting and stewing and steaming that Ukraine needs elections. And let me tell you something. Every Ukrainian I personally know which is many, many, many. They do not want elections. They want Zelenskyy to keep leading the country. War is not a time for the election. 63.8% in a poll there in Ukraine say no elections. And 21%, I didn't put the figure there, are undecided. So you're up in the 85, 84, 85% that are no and undecided. So Zelenskyy said, quote, if the war continues, yes, I would run for president. If the war ended tomorrow, no, I'm not going to run for president again. He says, I can't run away during the war. He declared that he would not seek a second term after the end of the war, but if the elections are held during hostilities, then he will run for president. He emphasized that Ukraine is, and this is the quote, at the last stage, and it will be the most difficult. So really insightful there. It's interesting to see what Zelensky's really thinking. You guys know we've watched this man age. He's led his nation through unbelievable obstacles in a very, very honorable way. And no, he is not a criminal. And no, he does not have $200 billion in the Canary Islands. No. Now, okay, I read an article that Ukraine is drafting women, but for what positions, or is it even true? So, yes, Ukraine will potentially draft women, but it is for medical positions. Most of the hospitals that we work at, and we work at quite a few near supporting the front lines, in places out the Bakhmut Field Hospital. Don't worry, I won't tell you where it's at. We support that one. We take care of them. You guys do also. I videoed from inside. You've seen videos with Dr. Sasha. He speaks English. 50% of staff in field hospitals is female soldiers. 50%. So now, with that said, there are a lot of ladies serving on the front lines, but particularly with the draft, it's for medical. Now, I was asked a question, what businesses are still operating in Russia on day, it was like 593 Monday. And I told you guys that I would find out. So I had sent Zhenya a message. I said, man, I need to know two things. I need you to send me the information on which companies are still working in Russia. He says, man, are you kidding? That's easy. He goes, we actually have a think tank that reports on it up to the minute because we try to share the truth with the world. He goes, I'll send it to you. He says, it's in Ukrainian and in English. I've never even heard of it, guys. And tonight you're going to see it. Secondly, I asked him, I said, Zhenya, we got into a little discussion on the Budapest Memorandum. Just give us a little bit of clarity on it. Okay. He says, no problem. I'm going to give you the truth about it and why it's invalid. I said, okay. So I have all that for you now. So this is what he sent me. This is actually in Ukrainian here. And if you, right here, it's in Ukrainian. But if you guys are interested to go explore, the website is leave-russia.org. And what I'm going to do right in front of you is put it in the chat. There. That's how you know it's real time. I think I can pin it. Well, once it gets up, I think I can pin it. Those emojis are coming in my way. I'll pin it in a moment. You guys put some stuff in the chat so it gets up a little bit higher for me, and I'll do it. Now, I'm going to show this to you. So, stop doing business with Russia. Russia initiated aggression against Ukraine, not in 2022, but 2014, and then full war in 2022. Why companies should leave Russia. So currently, as of this moment, 1,502 companies continue to operate in Russia. 157 have paused. 383 are scaling back. 715 have suspended. 503 are withdrawing. And 285, they have completely exited. So what's interesting, and I'll go here. Thank you, guys. And now I've pinned that message for you. So you can go there and explore it, but I'm just going to show you. You then come down and you can search. I'm going to search, let's see, continue operations. And I'm going to search all industries, and I'm going to search the US. And it'll refresh. So as of right now, Philip Morris is continuing operations. Pepsi, continuing operations. Mars. And folks, let me tell you something. If you want to see a big company, you guys just go look up Mars. It's huge. Procter & Gamble, Mondelez, Westinghouse, Weatherford, Titan International, Armstrong Ceilings, Huntsman, AP Packaging, Serona, Sealed Air, Accuride, Fluor, Mary Kay, Harman, Guess, Sun Chemical, Hills, SMS Holdings, Zimmer Biomet, Monster Energy Drinks. If you guys drink Monster drinks, think about it. Kimmin, Village Cinemas, Tupperware. Look at this. Honeywell, Allied Chemical. Oh, we're talking some monsters. Wall. We're talking some monsters, folks. Revlon. Look at this. Intel. Conair. So, Adobe, Alliant, Altera, American Property Casualty Insurance Association. Doing insurance for energy, oil, and gas. Apple TV, Avis, AT&T, Briggs & Stratton. How about that when you crank your lawnmower up? Carl's Jr., which is Hardee's for you Southern rednecks, like I am. Comcast. That's not surprising, actually. Forbes. That's why you do not read GE, Gillette. I got to go throw my razor away. Hornady. For those of you that do not know, they manufacture ammunition. Okay, that's enough. I can keep going. So you can go in there and explore it. It's unbelievable. And folks, I'm telling you, this is legit. It's legit. And I know a lot of you, you can go by Global 500, Top 100. We could switch it. We've got guys in here, a lot of guys in here from Great Britain. How are they labeling that? No Great Britain. Oh, there it is. UK. Sorry, I had to get to the U's. Unilever, GlaxoSmithKline, Froneri, IG Group, Imperial Energy. You guys over there in Great Britain recognizing some of these companies? It's crazy, guys. But that's where we're at. I've pinned that website for your perusal in the chat. It's on. Yes, Subway's still working, Carl. You're correct. Okay, I think I hit the mark tonight. Hey, you guys got to say thank you to Zhenya. He's the one that knew this. I had no idea. I just knew who to get it from. He says, man, we work on this every day. And you guys, look here. Just so you know, You recognize, let me pop that down. October 10th, they're giving the updates by the day and the hour. October 11th, BlackRock sells limited number of holdings in defunct Russia ETF. Up to the minute, it's really, really cool. So this is very good, and it'll be helpful for you guys. I see some of you already leaving companies, and it's very sad. So now, Budapest Memorandum. In that picture, the famous picture, you see Boris Yeltsin. He was hungover. Bill Clinton. He was in love. Kuchma was a criminal. That's from Ukraine. And you have John Major. I have no comment on John Major. I don't know him or know much about him, but I do know Yeltsin, Clinton, and Kuchma. So I asked Jania, I said, what is it? Tell me so we can at least have a general understanding. He says, listen, the problem with the Budapest Memorandum is in the linguistics. I said, what? The linguistics. He says, the Budapest Memorandum has nothing to do with, for example, Russia or any other nation putting a missile on us. It has nothing, I asked the question about nuclear. He goes, it has nothing to do with nuclear. If somebody nukes us, I think we're going to World War III anyway. It's not about nuclear. He says it's about our borders, security guarantees for our territorial integrity. He goes, this is the problem, and this is why it's dead. We need to stop talking about it. It's over. So in Ukraine, they don't even talk about it, to be quite honest, anymore. So under the terms of the memorandum, Ukraine agreed to relinquish its nuclear arsenal, which was the world's third largest. I've been in many of those bunkers there. They're incredible in Ukraine, inherited from the collapsed Soviet Union, and transfer all nuclear warheads to Russia for decommissioning. You can see Kuchma was the one signing this. This enabled Ukraine to join the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. NPT is a non-nuclear state. The NPT, and by the way, before I continue reading that, how many times have you guys heard Jania in here, either live or recorded, say, and we gave them our nukes. We gave the aggressor our nukes. The reason he keeps saying that is because of this. This was the problem. They gave those weapons up as a part of this agreement. We'll keep going. The NPT is a legally binding instrument that recognizes only 5 countries as legitimate holders of nuclear weapons: China, France, Russia, UK, and US. All other countries are banned from developing a nuclear arsenal, and those that have, including India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea, are not parties to the NPT. Additionally, in exchange for giving up its nuclear arsenal, Ukraine initially sought legally binding guarantees from the U.S. that it would intervene should Ukraine's sovereignty be breached. But when it became, this is Jania's words, guys, but when it became clear that the U.S. was not willing to go that far, Ukraine agreed to somewhat weaker, but nevertheless significant politically binding. That's the phrase we have to understand. Actually, it's politically binding security. Politically binding security assurances to respect its independence and sovereignty, which guaranteed its existing borders. China and France subsequently extended similar assurances to the Ukraine, but did not sign the Budapest Memorandum. Now, you see those guys there signing. This is actually very important because Yeltsin is signing a document in Russian. Clinton and Major are signing it in English. Kuchma is signing it in Ukrainian. No joke. And the translation between English and Ukrainian specifically in regard to that phrase, politically binding security, means to Ukraine, if they invade us, you're going to come and help us fight them. But to the United States and to Great Britain, it's not a military intervention other than weapon supply. It is a politically binding document. And this is coming straight from Ukraine. The Budapest Memorandum consists of a series of political assurances whereby the signatory states commit to respect the independence, sovereignty, and the existing borders of Ukraine, which Russia broke in 2014. So in reality, the Budapest Memorandum was broken in 2014. This additionally is why Russia redid their constitution in 2022 to include Lugansk, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson as their sovereign state territories. It takes their view, the Budapest Memorandum, even off the page. We didn't invade Ukraine. We came to liberate our land. This is what's the truth about the Budapest Memorandum. The meaning of the security assurances was deliberately left ambiguous. According to a former U.S. diplomat who participated in these talks, his name was Stephen Pfeiffer, it was understood that if there was a violation, there would be a response incumbent on the U.S. and the U.K. And while that response was not explicitly defined, Pfeiffer notes that there is an obligation of the United States that flows from the Budapest Memorandum to provide assistance to Ukraine, and that would include lethal military assistance. That's where we're at. So pretty much it's a dead document. It's an irrelevant document. And from the Ukrainian viewpoint, they don't even think about it anymore. There's nothing to think about. It's dead. So that's the update on the Budapest Memorandum. We got it clear. It's not if Russia drops a missile. It's not if they drop a nuke, then militaries can come. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's a political agreement, and there was major issues in the translation. Not the translation of the word, but in Russian we would say this smysly, meaning the meaning of it. The meaning. And they mean very much to each nation as far as the understanding. So I hope that helps you. It helped me a lot. But the other signatories, I'll go back. Yeah. Let's go back here. But the other signatories do not recognize the 4 oblasts annexed by Russia. Agreed. I agree with that. However, Russia doesn't care about that. See, that's why they invaded. They were there beginning in 2014, and it started unraveling with the separatists. And then 2016. And then 2022. They honestly do not care what the other nations say, because they are confident that because of their size, the thought that other nations have of their prowess and strength, which we are seeing revealed that is not so. However, they are crazy. He is a terrorist, and he will do very, very bad things. He doesn't care. He's confident. And so far, it's playing out the long game, and he's right, that the other nations will do little things, provide arms, do this, but they're not bringing NATO against me, not in Ukraine. So it's the chess game, and right now, he's up a move. He really is. He's up a pawn. And additionally, with what we're going to talk about here as we close, it's It does not help the situation. I got this information in from my IDF buddy. I'm not even looking at any news sources at all in regard to this, because I just want my information to be unfiltered. And here's what I can tell you. The battle raging in Gaza between Hamas and Israel is still extremely active. Israel is leveling Gaza to the ground. They now, I'm just going to tell you, they now are giving 30-minute warnings. Literally, they're saying, we're coming and we're going to take out the intersection of Hollywood and Vine. You have 30 minutes to leave. That's what Israel's doing right now. So that's the truth. They're giving a 30-minute warning. Secondly, we know that the United States is trying to negotiate a safe passage for citizens of Gaza to flee to Egypt. They're working on that right now. And it's very simple. We don't have to think too hard. Biden and Netanyahu have talked. Netanyahu, if you see on the bottom right, I put the 100% guarantee there. The 100% guarantee he gave today, he said, we will 100% erase Hamas. He didn't say Gaza and citizens of Gaza. He said Hamas. We will erase them all off this planet. And folks, with the stuff that I saw today, between burned bodies and decapitated babies and gutted women, it was a slaughterhouse of epic proportion. And I just have to think, if you were on the receiving end of that, what would your response be? It's easy for us to look. We're not there. Yes, it's in the forefront of our minds, but we're not there. What if that happened in your city? Don't tell me, for those of you that are Americans here, at 9/11, you didn't want to grab a gun and go after somebody. I did. I didn't care who. You can't fly a plane into our building and kill innocent people. You can't come across our border and behead infants and burn our teenagers and women and old men and old ladies. So they are going to level Gaza. And the confirmation is the U.S. is working to get the citizens out into Egypt. Bibi's told them they're gone. Now, Lebanon, I can tell you right now that there are Iranian Revolutionary Guard commanders in Lebanon with Hezbollah right now. I've got confident information on that. They're there. And we know there is already some activity from Hezbollah out of northern Lebanon into Israel, some exchanges back and forth. There is also exchanges back and forth from Syria into Israel and back, and Iran that is stationed up on some zone there in Syria in the east. I don't know the town. I do not know Syria. They are en route coming down toward Damascus and coming to the border of Israel. It's a mess. Additionally, on top of that, the 101st Airborne Division, the Screaming Eagles, where are they at right now? Or a part of them? They are in Jordan. Did you know that? So folks, just think about this. We've got that much mess. We know Russia stands with them. We know Turkey stands with them. We have the United States rolling in heavy duty with the Gerald Ford. And now, you guys may know more than I know, but it looks like the Eisenhower's coming now. we're going to put 2 aircraft carriers in the Eastern Mediterranean? Tell me it doesn't take one crazy terrorist from Hamas or Hezbollah to shoot a rocket at one of our ships. They'll do it. What will happen? I don't know. We just see it brewing. Now, you say, well, Jordan, that's pretty friendly country to us. And it is, but here's Jordan last night. Pro-Palestine in Amman. Allah Akbar. It's just boiling, guys. It's boiling. I see that question there. That's interesting. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yes, the U.S. has a base in Cyprus as well as UK. That was normal rotation. They won't be close. Mexican borders are open, so illegals come over all the time. It is. John Little. First time I've seen your name there. Welcome, sir, Central Illinois. You're right. I agree with that statement. Hamas will use safe passage to escape. They have tunnels everywhere, but I'm worried that chaos is too great. Must stop all these terrorist group states, Russia included. That's a fact right there. Very, very well stated. And I agree with it. And I had it in here. What's the distance from Eastern Med to Ukraine? Where do you want to go in Ukraine? We can do that right now. So let's see here. I'll give it to us in kilometers first. Let's just go right from the Lebanon-Israel border, which would be up near Haifa. Let's just put it there. And let's take it to Odessa. 1,500 kilometers, which is 955 miles. To Crimea, I'll put it right to let's go to Feodosia. 800 miles. 1,300 kilometers. It's nothing. It's interesting, guys. You think these places are so far away, especially for those of you guys that are from the United States or, for example, Australia, and you go from Sydney to Perth, and it's a major, major flight. I mean, guys, you get on a plane in London, and you can be in Ukraine in a couple of hours. You leave. I've flown from Kyiv to Tel Aviv, and it's so close. It's nothing. Compared to what you think, oh, it's an international flight. Yeah, but it's like going from New York to Denver. It's very close. So that's that. Now, I told you guys about Turkey. Here it is. Turkish President Erdogan. This is his statement. The U.S. is sending an aircraft carrier to Israel and looks like a second one. What is it doing in Israel? What does it deserve to do? They, the U.S., will attack Gaza with their fighter jets and commit a massacre. He also stated that when it suits our partner, the United States, the U.S., trains and equips terrorists. Now, the terrorist he is referring to is the nation of Israel. That's his view. If you think Ukraine has a friend in Turkey, think again. Turkey should be kicked out of NATO yesterday. Stop playing the game. Kick them out. There is a reason they'll never get in the EU. Those guys can see through a lot of the mess. So We do. We have a mess there, and Turkey showing their hand. Finally, Hezbollah tonight stating, Hezbollah, an official announcement tonight. I got this from the IDF. The USA is a partner in Israeli aggression, and we consider it responsible for the killing, the crime, and the siege. Now, that does make me think. I've seen a lot of you guys' comments. Yeah, he's talking about the Kurds also, but in this one, I think he's referring to Israel. He hates Israel, man. Big time. Big time. Hezbollah saying the U.S. is a partner. Of course, in the chat tonight, a lot of you guys talking about our southern border. It's a problem. Sending aircraft carriers to the region with the aim of raising enemy morale reveals the weakness of the Zionist military machine. Sending aircraft carriers will not scare the resistance factions that are ready for a confrontation until victory and complete liberation are achieved, and then a big war is on the way. So guys, it's pretty easy for me to see here as well as you. Let me just fancy me 1 second and I'll get you out of here tonight. I'm just going to take a red pen. Moscow was about right there. Where did you go? There. And Kyiv is here. And Israel is here. Guys, if you don't think for 1 second that that is all connected, then I would suggest you think again. It's absolutely connected. In fact, I would just do that right there. Bring Iran into it. So this is where we're at. And, you know, when you guys at like distances, I think I can do it on this. Oh, I can't do it on that. It's a different one. It's not far. We looked at it. So that's where we're at tonight. Thank you guys for being here. What did you say? Ukraine with an 860 kilometer range. Psalm 83, yes. U.S. Gerald Forward Strike Group, second strike group be available. The Eisenhower. You drew Alabama. You know what? I knew somebody was going to say that. I sure did. So if that's Alabama, then we'll go ahead and put Florida over here as well, and Georgia and South Carolina. So, hey guys, I appreciate you guys. As always, thank you for continuing to share. This is fantastic, and we will continue. We'll see you on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, unless something goes sideways. And I know everything's sideways, but above the norm. And we'll jump in here at any time. So make sure you have the notifications on. Make sure you're sharing and caring, telling others. We appreciate all that you do. Be blessed, and we'll see you very soon.
Слава Україні!